Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we are doing a little more work to the 240. I did a lot of work off camera because I wanted to pretty much knock some of the stuff out because I was more or less in a groove. So today I started tightening up some suspension bits, got the wiring pretty much ready to go. The only thing I have to do now is wire up the electric fans to the relay, which is a Mishimoto fan controller, and do some interior wiring as far as switches and gauges goes. We're almost there. I need to go to the store, pick up some motor oil and transmission oil. The fuel system's all hooked up. I'm not sure if my lines are clean after sitting for, I think it was close to 6 to 8 months. But I'm going to be putting the steering rack in, as well as the drive shaft. I need to put the clutch line in for the slave cylinder to master cylinder. Bleed all of the brakes after I do the front brake lines. The in-bay lines are already done, but I want to show you guys the progress so far. I'm pretty stoked about it. Last thing you guys saw was the motor and transmission was in the car, but now it's looking more like a complete car. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Here it is. Radiator's in, intercooler's halfway in, got the pipe in on the passenger side. Still don't have the turbo in just because of bleeding lines and troubleshooting in the future. Power steering lines are not hooked up because there's no steering rack in it yet. I have GK Tech rack offset spacers. They're not like the offset spacers that you would put on your tie rods. They actually push the rack forward. I don't have them. I might have them over here, but yeah, they push the rack forward a little bit instead of using some kind of offset tie rod adapter. Those things always either break or back off, and these things are pretty cool. They're in a bag right now, and I'm not going to take them out, but these two pieces go together. So I grabbed the same side, but yeah, they pretty much push the steering rack forward, just because I got the roll center correction knuckle adapters on, and the steering angle is going to be greater than it usually is. So I don't want to fight any kind of binding issue. I'm hoping that these offset spacers help a good bit. Only time will tell, but I need to put those in with the rack, make sure everything is centered as far as the rack goes. I'll show you guys how to do that when I get to that. I don't know if it's going to be in this video or not, but I mean, possibly. If anything, at the end of this video, you might see this car run. No promises, just because I'm a pretty busy dude and I got a lot of things going on this week that don't involve the car. There's a couple other things I want to show you, but I'm going to get back to wrenching a little bit and pick up at maybe a little unboxing, even though I already opened it, so you're not going to see my reaction of what the part looks like and everything. But there's a couple of things that I do want to show you that I have, and I'm pretty stoked about. So it's been a couple of days, and I'm having issues with my AC. The capacitor ended up taking a crap on me, which makes a lot of sense because this thing's gotta be at least 20 years old, maybe 30 years old. I mean, it's rotted to shit. But yeah, the capacitor took a crap on me. I had my buddy Pat come out, super knowledgeable dude. Told me that the capacitor was bad. And also my electrical box for out here was also bad. So I'm replacing that as well as the capacitor, and he told me to get a booster as well. Pretty much that just, I'm not smart with this stuff, so I don't know, but apparently it's supposed to help this capacitor work a little better. It gives it a jolt of juice. I'm not quite sure, but I replaced the capacitor, hardwired everything. So like you tie in a couple of wires here, put a wire nut on them to bypass the lug on the box, and I started up my AC and it started blowing cold. The fan kicked on, so I know my motor's not bad. I'm pretty elated right now. I'm gonna replace this box and go from there. Yeah, so it's been a couple of days now. I had to stop working on the 240 just because my car needed a lot of work. I haven't had AC for the past week, and my wife's car is also, her transmission finally took a crap on her again. So we've been dealing with that, trying to get the warranty and everything, and it's been a big headache. So wanted to take some time off the 240. It's probably been like 3 days now. Now here and there I'd come in late and do a little brake line or just little odds and ends. So it's a little bit further than probably what you guys saw, but not much further. Yeah, so I'm gonna knock this out. I think I might get a new phone today, so hopefully the quality of videos will be better. Have a lot more storage on my phone and everything, so I won't lose any content if I have more than 3 hours of video. But yeah, I'm gonna swap this out. I'm probably not gonna show you guys that because I have no clue what the hell I'm doing and I don't want to embarrass myself. But I'll show you guys what it's like when it's done and this thing's spinning and we got cold air again. Sweet, check it out. Condenser's finally working. The motor's not making any weird noises. Spinning freely, pushing air. I'm gonna go inside the house now and make sure that it's actually cold, because if it's not cold, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll probably lift my car up and then, you know, just drop it on my head. But yeah, let's check the AC real quick. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hell yeah. All right, so I'm done with that. I'm gonna close all the windows, and then sooner or later, I'll get back to working on the 240. All right, so I'm back in the garage now. Thankfully my AC is fixed and the house has been nice and cool for the past day and a half now. So today we are trying to button up as much as possible on this thing. I have a brake line to do on this side and just a handful of other things to do. We got to put the drive shaft in, put the turbo on, do what do you call that, oil lines for the sandwich plate that I have, because I have an oil cooler that goes up in this area here. We'll probably put it up in here somewhere. I'm assuming probably. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where I want to put that yet. I might actually put it somewhere where the intercooler piping is. But yeah, we have a good bit of stuff to do, so I'm gonna get back to it. I want to say I got a new phone. Yesterday we went out after I was done fixing the AC. I got a killer deal through AT&T. When I was down in Tennessee, I had Sprint Wireless, and it was terrible. But you'll probably notice a difference halfway through this video right now, where it's a little bit wider of a lens. I think the picture's a lot better. I don't know how the stability is going to go. I picked the 12 Pro. I did not get the 12 Pro Max. It had a better stabilization, which probably would have been good in my favor, but is a lot bigger. And I'm not a big fan of huge phones. So I got the 12 Pro. I believe this looks a lot better. If you could let me know down in the comments if it does look better. But yeah, we're gonna get started on this thing. I'm pretty excited. I got a new little tripod thing, so when I do the brake lines, I might do like a time-lapse video of me just doing it. Not really going to go into detail on how I'm doing it. It's a brake line. It's pretty straightforward. If I have any complications, I'll show you guys that. But other than that, we're going to do the brake line first. I'll show you the other side that I actually did the other day, late at night. But yeah, it's just a new soft line. There's a soft line coming from the master cylinder up here. There's a short little one that comes down. I do not have the boot yet. I need to get the boot, just so that it doesn't rub through. I might just cut a vacuum line down the center and wrap it around here. If you can see down there, just wrap it around the center here. We'll see how that works. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna keep trucking. All right, so I have the brake line on. For some reason, this coilover doesn't have a bracket to hold the piece steady. Not quite sure what I'm gonna do there. I'll probably, I hate using this word, but zip tie it. Because where it's at right now at the coilover is probably the best spot for it as far as mobility goes. I don't know. I guess I can make a bracket, but I don't want it to rub against the coilover. That's just going to make this part wear so much faster, and we don't need that. I don't want to continue to replace parts and everything, but I'm going to tighten this piece up here. It's pretty dark over here, but yeah, this just needs to come down so it seats into the beveled piece of the brake line. So I'm going to tighten that down, and then we'll move on to I want to make these oil lines. It's the biggest pain in the butt, at least in my mind right now. So we'll take care of that real quick. I'm working on the oil cooler lines now, and I am limited on fittings. And of course, I bought cheap fittings. One of these, this side was super loose or super tight, and I ended up having to smack it around a couple of times using penetrating oil and lubricating oil, yada yada yada. Took a minute, finally got it freed up enough where I can actually screw it on by hand and then crank it down once to tighten it. But I'm gonna use 45s coming from the filter housing. Probably can't really see it too well in there. It's that there's little silver pieces right in here. I have to make two lines coming from there, and I'm going to try to fish them through here in between the radiator and yeah, that little gap in between there, right in front of that that electrical loom where you see the intercooler a little bit. I'm going to try to fish it through there, and it's going to wind up right here in this area. I'm going to have it vertical. It's probably not going to be very efficient, but I mean, if it cools down my oil by 5 degrees, I'll be happy, I guess. Yeah, I already have the kit and it's thermostatic, so I might as well use it. I was trying to see if I could put it in this area, but I'm gonna have my headlights here, and it's not ideal. So I'm gonna put it in between the intercooler and the radiator and hope that works out just fine. I'm also going to put a power steering cooler in front of my my intercooler here. You already see the two lines here, or the two retainers. I have to get new retainers, but I'm gonna put that in front of there. I already had the lines all made up, so I'm sticking to that spot. But yeah, so I'm in the middle of doing that. I don't know if it's going to work out in my favor or not. I'm already banging my head against the wall, but I have 90s that are going to go here so that the line doesn't rub through here. It's just the fitting itself here. We'll see how that works. Get this all banged out. I still don't have a way to mount the oil cooler, but I'll figure it out. If anything, I mean, this car is mostly zip ties already, so if anything, we'll zip tie it up some more. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to work. I'm not gonna time lapse this just because it's tedious, and it'd probably be a 5-minute time lapse because it's gonna take me an hour to figure all this out and take breaks in between and yada yada yada. But yeah, I'm gonna quit blabbering on and get this rolling. All right, so you remember one of my first videos, I said don't cheap out on parts, tools, yada yada yada. Definitely don't cheap out on parts. I'm not quite sure if this is gonna work yet or not, but of course my cheap ass went on eBay, Amazon, wherever I ordered this shit from. There are 10 AN lines, the cheapest fittings out there, the cheapest lines out there. And I mean, everything is still loose. Like, everything's tight, but everything still feels loose and clunky. And I have a feeling it's going to leak at, like, so this joint here, you probably can't really see too well, but there's a joint here that's flexible until you really crank it down. At least on good lines and fittings, they're tight once it's all cranked down. This one is still loose. It's jostling around and everything. Maybe it won't leak, maybe it will, who knows. Also, the fitting going into the sandwich plate, just it doesn't feel right. Nothing feels right. So I'm gonna make the other line once I cut this one down, and have both of my lines coming to where they need to be, and then we will go from there. I want to get it at least together so I could put oil in it, start it up. And if it leaks, it leaks. I'll order real lines. I'll probably get D-Short fittings and something from Summit Auto to, who knows. Either way, struggling, still having a good time though. Got one more line to make, and then I'll probably set it in there for now instead of trying to find a bracket or something or making a bracket. Just set it in there for now, just so I can get some oil on this pig. And after that's done, I think I'm gonna put the drive shaft in, and then the steering rack. That one, I do want to show you guys how I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm gonna put that in this video though. I'm feeling pretty lazy already, and it's only like 12 o'clock. It's noon on a Sunday. So yeah, I'll stick around for probably another 30 minutes getting this other line made, and put the drive shaft in, and then if I'm feeling up to it, I'll put the steering rack in, but I don't know. If I do that, or either way, when I do the steering rack, I'm going to show you guys how to center it and put it into the whole lower subframe and put the steering shaft onto it. Yeah, so I'm gonna get back to wrenching on this and show you guys where I'm at once I'm done. Before I start, I was saying something about cheap parts, cheap tools. Let's touch that subject. So I'm too cheap to get AN line cutters, and usually I use a cutoff wheel and everything, but it's already on the car, and I don't want sparks everywhere. I don't want debris everywhere. I don't want to have to blow out the line because it's already tightened on there and everything. So I have hedge clippers. I've seen guys use AN line cutters, and I mean, it looks just like this. So I don't know why people spend hundreds of dollars on AN line cutters. I might find out today. I'm gonna set you guys down and actually show you my struggle. Let's see how this works. I'm not quite sure. It might work just fine. It might be a nightmare, and I might destroy this line, but we'll see. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm gonna try to angle you down a little bit. So I want to cut it. I'm gonna cut it a little long. I'll push it in a little bit. I want to put a 90 on here and have it sit right here, but I need a little bit extra slack just so if I need more slack, I need it. If I don't need it, at least I have it. It'll look a little ugly in the engine bay, but it is what it is. But yeah, so the guys that I see using AN line cutters, I mean, it literally looks just like a pair of hedge clippers. You got to get it nice and straight, and then oh, that was a nightmare. Yeah. Okay. I see why they actually buy the right tool. You know what? It's not that bad. It frayed the hell out of the line. Probably should have taped it. There's a little bit more tin. Don't do this at home. Get the real tool or use a cutoff wheel. I didn't want to start up the air compressor and I didn't want to tear this line off. Oh, that was horrendous. It stretched the line. Yeah, I messed it up. This is going in the video. I don't care. Buy AN line cutters. Don't try to use hedge trimmers. If you're really feeling lazy or not really lazy, but if you don't want to spend the money, a cutoff wheel works just fine. Just make sure you blow out the line before you install it and everything. Damn, man. I kind of just ruined that. I mean, look at that. That's heinous. I really screwed that up. I'm not even going to try to put a fitting on this end here. Is what it is. Thankfully, I gave myself a little slack so I can cut it off about an inch early. Yeah, time to start up the air compressor. Buy good tools. Don't use shit you have laying around the house. It's just dumb idea. I told you all I was gonna do it. I put zip ties on my oil cooler, so yeah, it's held into place, but I was too lazy to make brackets, and really I don't have the materials for it anyways. So got 2 zip ties on it. All the lines are tight. They run through the rat support along the rail here, and it goes back in here. I don't know if you could see it too well, but they're in there. I also just put the clutch master cylinder and slave cylinder line in. ISR makes one for the auto to manual swaps. So it just really gets rid of the hard line. So I ended up buying that just for ease of install and for the future of this car, really. I didn't want any hard lines rotting out on me in the future. Brake fluid, which you put in your clutch master cylinder and slave cylinder, yada yada, is very corrosive. And I have DOT4, so it's supposed to be less corrosive, but it's going to eat up those lines. And granted, it's probably going to eat up this rubber line, but not as bad as steel from 1992. So yeah, that's in there. It's kind of out of the way. It goes underneath the brake mass or booster, goes along this way. I'm going to put some kind of heat wrap there. I probably should have put it up above here. And you know what? I might just like zip tie it up there. I'm using a lot of zip ties, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's all back there now. I have a heat shield that goes over this, but it doesn't. I done goofed. It's whatever. I gotta heat wrap some of that stuff anyways, so I might as well get a lot of it, sleeve it, like, because they make this Velcro stuff that's really nice. I'll wrap the whole loom and do it that way. So because my turbo sits here, it's going to heat soak all of that, and I don't want to lose any kind of clutch feel. I don't want to lose any kind of brake feel. So the more heat protection in that little corner there, the better. But I think I'm going to call it quits for today. Yeah, I didn't get the turbo on. I didn't get the steering rack on, and I didn't do the drive shaft. But those are literally the only 3 things left to do, other than wiring up my fan switch and little odds and ends there as far as my wideband sensor goes, and the usual stuff. I mean, we're super close. I could probably get this thing running today, but I don't have the oil or anything. I don't have oil for the motor. I don't have transmission oil. It's hot. It's hot. I don't want to work anymore. So that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do. It means a lot to me. There's going to be a lot more content to come at the end of August. So it's not even August yet. It's still July. But at the end of August, we are going to have a drift event. It's a 3-day event, and I couldn't be any more excited. So we're going to do a lot of R&I to this car, make sure it's up to spec. I'm going to get an alignment after everything's done. I might even send that diff out and get the 4.9 in it, because I want some wheel speed. I want to get some acceleration going. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Get excited for next month, and get excited for getting this thing running. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you have any input, make sure you jot a little something down in the comment section. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll probably show you something tomorrow. But for today, we're done. Yeah, thanks again, guys. Peace.